How are we, lads? Welcome back to the YouTube channel. My name is Nick from Australia, and welcome to my NRL Round 2 Tips live stream for your Monday night. It is 9:05 p.m. Bit of a late one. Wanted to get this out tonight, and round 2 of the NRL. It's going to be a very big round of footy. It feels like round 1 because of obviously Vegas, and round 1 felt like it went forever because it's like a 2-week round where it's like a 2-week concept where round 1's like 2 weeks long. So round 2 feels like a round 1 for me because we've got 8 games to look forward to. Big round of footy ahead. Of course, I hope everyone is doing well, but welcome to the live chat. Hope everyone's good. Hello to everyone that's watching. Hello to Josh, Jason, Jesse, Bullseye, Howard, Brandon. Who else we got in the chat here? We got Luke, Melbourne Storm fan. Tom Mitchell, Josh, Sami is in the chat. Jason Reader, Diggs _96. The great CJ Moxley, Liam Pritchard. Hope everyone's doing fantastic, man. Hope everyone's doing well. Round 1 is over. We move on to round 2. It's going to be a big round ahead. Hello to Cooper as well. Obviously, round 1, I wasn't able to attend Manly versus Cowboys due to the cyclone that happened over the weekend. I was not able to get down there due to roads being cut off. All the airports were closed. I couldn't fly on Wednesday or Thursday from Ballina. Gold Coast Airport was down. Brisbane ended up getting shut down, I think, Friday afternoon. So I wasn't able to get down there and cheer on the Cowboys against Manly. Obviously, disappointing for us, but it's all good. Everything's clearing up now, and I am happy to announce that I will be in Townsville this weekend. I will be up there in Townsville for the first home game of the season for the Cowboys as we take on the Sharks, one of our arch rivals. So really big game on Saturday. I will be in attendance. I will be in Townsville. I am looking forward to getting up there and having a good time. So looking forward to that. I want to say as well, shout out to the live chat. You know, it's 9 o'clock on a Monday night and we got over 30 people in the live chat watching. So let's get things underway. Let's get these tips out. It's a tough round of footy because some teams last week who got beat may bounce back, and some teams who were very good last week may lose. So let's get into the tips. And round 2 of the NRL kicks off on Thursday night from McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle. It is the Newcastle Knights taking on the Dolphins. The Newcastle Knights are the favourites at $1.65. The Dolphins are at $2.25. Tough game to pick because if you go back to last year in round 27, these two sides play each other in Newcastle for a spot in the finals, which the Knights end up winning in controversial fashion. So I'm sure the Dolphins had this game marked on the calendar. Obviously, Kuli Kefi Finifiliaki will not be playing due to the HIA situation, but they should welcome back Cody Nikorima and a couple of others. As for the Knights, I don't think there'll be many changes from last week where they beat the Tigers. So tough game to call because the Knights won by 2 last week and the Dolphins lost by 2 last week. And it's an interesting game, this one. It's a hard one to pick. I know Newcastle will be it'll be a good vibe in Newcastle with the whole Dylan Brown signing and everything that's going on, but I'm going to go for a bit of an upset to start off. I'm actually going to go the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins can get away with a bit of an upset here down there in Newcastle. I like the Dolphins in this game. I think they will want a bit of revenge from what happened in the last round where they were ripped off for the finals. And I don't think you'll see the Hammer have a quiet game like he did last week. So I'm actually going to tip the Dolphins to win this game on Thursday night. I'm going to go the Dolphins by 6. I'll go a scoreline of points to 18. And for the first try scorer, I'm going to go with Hamaso Tabuai Fido, the hammer, to score the first try. Dolphins to beat the Knights. The first game on Friday night football, as we have a double header, which is always great. Love Friday night footy. The first game is at 6 o'clock in New Zealand, 8 o'clock in New Zealand if you live over there, but 6 p.m. for all of us here. It is the New Zealand Warriors and the Manly Sea Eagles. Manly are $1.40 favourites. The Warriors are at $2.90. This is an interesting game because the Warriors were disappointing in Vegas. They've had about a week and a half to sort of get back to New Zealand and get over that Raiders loss. And as for Manly, well, they were high as a kite on Saturday night against my Cowboys down there at Brookvale. So we know Manly's record last year on the road wasn't the greatest. This is a really hard game to call. I think this is a game where it could be like the Warriors could win over in New Zealand, but I think I'm going to tip Manly. I think I'm going to put a bit more trust and a bit more belief in Manly because I think I have a bit more confidence in the Turbo, Tom Trbojevic and Ali Cherry Evans than I do, say Luke Metcalf, for example, and Charles Nicol Klukstad. So I'm going to tip Manly. I think they'll get away with an 8-point win. We'll go Manly by 8, 20 points to 12. So not the most high-scoring game, but Manly by 8, 20 to 12. And for the first try scorer, I'm going to go with Lehigh Hopewate to score the first try. Manly by 8. The main event game on Friday night, obviously the Channel 9 game along with Fox. The Panthers take on the Roosters from CommBank Stadium down there in Sydney. The Panthers' first home game at CommBank Stadium since moving there due to the upgrade of Penrith Stadium. But yeah, Panthers take on the Roosters. Panthers, $1.15 favourites. The Roosters are at $6. After last week, the Roosters should be $100. But look, the reigning premiers, they're very good in Vegas. They got everyone on deck. Brian To'o should be back from his hamstring problem that he suffered. I think Penrith will win, and I think they will win well. I can't see the Roosters doing much here. Their team doesn't look great, and we saw that against the Broncos. They got 50 put on them at Allianz in that first game of the year. So hard to trust the Roosters. Panthers look good. They'll be winning very well. I'll go Panthers 44-4. It's going to be a big scoreline, I believe. 44-4 Penrith. So a 40-point win. And first try scorer, I'll go with Isaac Tago. I think the Panthers can really attack that edge. And to be honest, they could attack any edge and get points, to be fair. So Panthers by 44-4. Isaac Tago for the first try. Moving on to probably my favorite day for round 2 because Super Saturday is absolutely stacked. And the first game, 3 o'clock on Saturday from Wynn Stadium in Wollongong. An old rivalry has been reignited. It is the Dragons and the South Sydney Rabbitohs. What a game. 3 o'clock Saturday at the Gong, Wollongong. A lot of former players against each other, obviously. You got Lachlan Ilias and Damien Cook going up against the Rabbitohs. This is going to be a really big game, man. Dragons, Rabbitohs. Really hard game to pick. Looking at the odds, Dragons $1.50, South Sydney at $2.50. This game could go either way. It is a really tough game to call. My bold prediction is that a game this weekend will go to Golden Point. And I'm going to say it's this game. This game, in my opinion, will go to Golden Point. And my prediction is I'm actually going to go with the Dragons. I think the Dragons can get away with it. I just think with the Dragons playing at Wollongong, they always seem to play better at Wollongong. So I'm going to go the Dragons by 1 point in a Golden Point game. Dragons to win 27-26. First try scorer. I'm actually going to go the Rabbitohs to score first. I'm going to go Cody Walker as the first try scorer. But Dragons to win 27-26 in a Golden Point game should be very entertaining. Looking forward to seeing how that game goes. Um, Obviously, Saturday, 5:30, the game I'm going to be at up there in Townsville. It is my North Queensland Cowboys taking on the Cronulla Sharks. And in my opinion, this is a rivalry game, man. You look at the history of the Cowboys and the Sharks, there is a lot of bad blood. This is a rivalry game, and I can't wait to be there on Saturday night, or Saturday evening because of daylight savings. But looking forward to it, man. Sharks, obviously, $1.40 favourites. The Cowboys at $3. Man, that is juicy odds at home to be $3 odds. We saw the Cowboys last week. We know how bad it was. Obviously, you probably won't see that again. You'll definitely see a different Cowboys team this week. I'll be surprised if you don't. As for the Sharks, well, they played pretty well in Vegas, and then they fell away, and then they come back late. Obviously fell short. So, obviously, I'm tipping the Cowboys, right? I'm not going to go against the Cowboys here. I'm always going to back the boys in no matter what. I think it will be a really good game, though. This will be a really good game. I'm going to go the Cowboys by 4 points, a really tight one. I'll go 28 points to 24, a high-scoring game. And I'm going to go with Scott Drinkwater as the first try scorer. I think Drinkwater will be very dangerous on that edge, especially on the left-hand side, linking up with Tom Dearden. Drinkwater to score the first try. Cowboys by 4, 28-24. The other game on Saturday night, which actually should be a really good game. Saturday night, 7:35 from GIO Stadium down there in Canberra. It is the Raiders versus the Broncos. The Raiders, they had a fantastic game in Vegas. They were great against the Warriors. And the Broncos were phenomenal against the Roosters. Now, the odds are unbelievable. I can't believe Canberra are paying so much. The Broncos are $1.20. The Raiders are at $4.30. Now, I know Tarpanay and Xavier Savage are out, but, man, the odds are very big, man. Very big odds for the Raiders. $4. Very crazy odds there. Look, I think the Raiders will give them a game. Obviously, Tarpanay and Savage being out is probably why the odds are what they are, but the Raiders play a different style of football where they can trouble teams. And I remember a couple of years ago, the Raiders actually went up to Brisbane like round 5, round 6, and they didn't have Jack Whiten and Papali, and they ended up beating the Broncos. So the Raiders are more than capable of winning. It's just going to be a difficult task without their best front rower and arguably their best outside back in Xavier Savage. So for those reasons, I'm going to tip the Broncos to win. I don't think it's going to be by as much as the betting odds suggest. I'll say the Broncos will win by 10. I think the Broncos will win by 10. I'm going to go a bit of a high-scoring game, though. I'm going to go the Broncos to win 30-20. I think we'll get some high-scoring points in this game. I think there'll be some tries scored. I think it'll be a fairly entertaining game. So Broncos to win 30-20. And for the first try scorer, I think the Raiders might score first. I'm going to go Matt Timoko to score the first try of the game. But, yeah, the Broncos to beat the Raiders by 10. On to Sunday. Sunday football. And we start with the Eels taking on the Tigers in what you could call a small rivalry. Obviously, they play Easter Monday against each other every year. Eels and the Tigers, bit of history between the two sides. This game is at 4 o'clock on Sunday from beautiful CommBank Stadium. We all love a bit of CommBank Stadium, a very underrated stadium. Very good stuff. The Tigers are the favourites at $1.60 favourites. The Eels are at $2.30. Really hard game to pick. Parramatta last week were diabolical. Absolutely diabolical they were against Melbourne Storm. What was it, 40-6 at halftime or something? It was really bad. Now, they probably will get back Ryan Madison. Addo-Carr's still out. I don't know if Simonson's back. I don't think he is. Still no Mitchell Moses. As for the Tigers had a good start last week against the Knights, but obviously failed to execute any points. I'm going to tip the Tigers. I'm going to do it. I'm actually going to go with the West Tigers here. I think the West Tigers can win. I think they showed some positive signs last week. Obviously, didn't get the result, but I saw some good things from the West Tigers. And I think Parramatta's defense last week was way worse than the Knights. And I think there's a few problems at Parramatta with obviously the Dylan Brown thing. With him leaving, could be a bit of a distraction and a bit of an issue. So I'm going to go with the West Tigers. And I think the West Tigers can get away with a solid win. West Tigers by 10. I'm going to go the West Tigers. 26 points to 16. And for the first try score, I'm going to go with Solomona Vatape. He's a very good strike center. I think he'll score the first try. So Vatape first try, Tigers by 10, 26 to 16. And the final game of the round, Sunday night. Bulldogs play the Titans. What time is this game? Sunday, 6:15 p.m. from Belmore Sports Ground. The Bulldogs and the Titans. Now, these sides played each other in round 3 last year at Belmore on a Saturday afternoon, and the Bulldogs won 32-0. So, will we get a repeat of that? Now, obviously, the Bulldogs had a really good game against the Dragons where they got out to a 28-6 lead, and they nearly let it slip, but they ended up getting the win in the end. As for the Titans, well, we have no idea. They had the bye last week, and they got 2 points out of that, and their trial form was up and down. Bad one week, good the next. So really hard to get a read of the form on the Gold Coast because we haven't seen them play yet. But the Bulldogs were pretty good last week. And the Titans, obviously, they're going to be in Sydney a lot earlier due to some flooding at their facilities, I believe. So, look, I'm going to tip the Dogs, but I'm not all that confident with margins. I'm confident Bulldogs will win the game. I believe they will win at Belmore. They're very hard to beat at Belmore. But as in terms of a margin, that's the part that I'm having trouble going with. I'm just going to go Dogs by 14. I think they'll win by 14. I don't know. It could be a 4-point win. It could be a 14-point win. Who the hell knows? But I'll go the Bulldogs by 14. I'll go maybe 24 points to 10. And first try score, I'm going to go with Bronson Sherry. I'll back him in for the first try of the game. So, to go through the tips again quickly in case you missed it. Knights, Dolphins. We're going to go the Dolphins 1-12. Warriors and Manly. We're going to go Manly 1-12. Panthers and the Roosters. We're going to go with the Panthers 13+, or should I say 30+. Dragons and Rabbitohs, I think we'll go to Golden Point. Dragons 1-12. Maybe a Valentine Holmes field goal to be the difference. Cowboys to bounce back and beat the Sharks 1-12. Obviously, I'll be at the game. Looking forward to it. Raiders, Broncos in Canberra. I'm going to go the Broncos 1-12 down there in Canberra. West Tigers to beat the Eels 1-12. And Bulldogs to beat the Titans 13+. Should be a great round of footy. Let me know your tips in the comment section down below. If you're going to be in Townsville, if you're going to be at the game on Saturday, just feel free to let me know if you want to meet up and whatever and get a photo and everything, like a lot of people tend to do at games when I'm there. Obviously, let me know and leave your tips in the comment section down below. Anyway, like and subscribe to the channel, everyone, and good luck to your team next week, unless you go for the Sharks. But anyway, like and subscribe. See you, fellas. See you, legends, lads, in the next one.